All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case over on Rumble, of course. Unpause and repause. We got a few news stories to talk about today, teachers' unions and so forth. I like when people say that I'm late, despite the fact that I'm not late. Happens all the time. Yeah, we've got three news stories to cover today. We've got a teachers' union bit here. Oh, and then I've got to talk about some unfortunate personal problems. My phone may be a little bit fucked up, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to get it repaired. For obvious reasons. Democrats refuse Barack Obama's election meddling. Yes, Barack Obama appears to be kind of on his way out as a liberal. They're basically giving him the old one too. So we're gonna be talking about all sorts of news. Cultivated mind. The stock market doesn't mean shit in the long run. Take care of your own business. Yes, if you have skills and you have land, you can definitely make it work. By the way, I wanted to point something out. I had an extremely good meal the other day at a place called the Base Camp Cafe. Then I discovered this. It's an actual Red Bull. Like, the can is actually red. It's probably the best thing that they've made. They're really improving with regards to their formulations. Show peg leg, please. Last beacon, the stock market is shitting itself today, and I'm freaking the fuck out. I couldn't give less of a shit. It means absolutely nothing. It's funny, the liberals always used to use the moniker, well, Wall Street's not Main Street. All of a sudden, the stock market matters an awful lot now, doesn't it? It's me, Carl. Sticks, my state of Illinois is going after homeschooling. Covered that this morning because they count out the Chicago Teachers Union. It's one of their biggest donors. Yeah, I covered that this morning. The state of Illinois has decided that homeschooling is evil. And so they've decided to attempt to hyper-regulate people that engage in that business. Sour Scroat 97 Gaming. Cheers. Cheers to you as well. One tall order. Sticks, care to talk about the track meet stabbing? I didn't see that one. If you can link me, yeah, I'll talk about it. Privateer of the East. Ah, hi, man. The EU appears to be interested in a zero-for-zero tariff policy now. It was a negotiating tool. Adding this to the Sticks was right jar. Clank. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what happened. What happened is that other countries were tariffing U.S. goods excessively for decades and decades. Trump wisely decided, why don't I just engage in reciprocal tariffing? That'll back them down. It appears to have worked. Jacob Mikulowski, greetings from Poland. I would love to go to Poland right now. I wish I was in the Carpathians, actually. Absolutely delicious. It tastes a little bit like Hawaiian punch, actually. But it's sugar-free, so, drink as many as you want. Get your caffeine. And it tastes good. Let's talk about teachers' unions first. What teachers' unions don't want you to know about school choice. Growing up in North Philadelphia's notorious Strawberry Mansion neighborhood, by the way, very notorious, Anthony Samuels saw his share of violence. The first time I saw a shootout with my own eyes, I was 9 years old, he recalls. When I was 10, I saw my first drug transaction. When I was 11, it was the first time I saw someone get killed, and it wasn't the last. Rather sad, by the way. Our school systems in the United States have grown decrepit. They're no longer working. They used to, 50 years ago, before the Department of Education was a thing. Before that, everything was fine. It was meritocratic, and generally speaking, kids got their basic STEM education, so they would learn They would learn to be literate. They would learn how to add, subtract, and multiply and divide. And then you would go from there. And the high performers would go to a college, which they could pay for literally with a part-time summer job. This is not a joke. This has literally been fact-checked. And then everyone else, they did other work. And it was a good society. It made sense. Lately, we have had a society that doesn't make sense, sadly. Makes none at all, actually. It's the opposite of common sense. That's what we have now. We have an anti-meritocratic society in which people who are high performers are actually dumbed down. Equity is, in principle, the idea of uplifting people at the bottom. In practice, though, it's about pushing down the heads of those at the top. It's sort of like crabs in a pod or something like that. That's exactly what's happening. And so you have people who are, on merit, they would do very well. They'd be nuclear engineers or rocket scientists or something like that, but they're not allowed to do that. And then you have people at the bottom who really, I mean, and I don't mean this as an insult. Like, I tip well for a reason. But there are certain people in society who simply are not high achievers. They should not be working in a nuclear facility. They should not be building components for rockets and things like that. They're going to have to find other work. This is just the way that it is. It's not that I don't have sympathy for them. It's not that I want them to be fucked in the ass or anything. Well, I mean, if they're into that. But otherwise, I don't want to abuse them at all. But they're not cut out for the kind of work that people that are very high achievers are cut out for. This is just the way that it is. This is a proper society, a meritocratic one, in which people can rise to the top because of their own successes, because of their own intelligence, their skills, whatever it happens to be. You happen to be, in the top 1% of chefs. You can cook a really, really mean fucking tomato basil. Okay, well then you should be opening a restaurant. You should be in a position where you're capable of using your skills to succeed. Another person, maybe they're incredible in math. Okay, you'd make a good accountant. You'd make a good CPA, like Chris Whalen, of course, CPA. You'd be a good mathematician in general. Maybe you become a professor or something like that. This other person is deficient in math. Maybe they can barely add. Okay, well, you're probably not becoming an accountant. We have to get honest about society. We have to get honest about meritocracy and where people can be placed. For example, I would not make a good mathematician. Not in any way, shape, or form. You do not want me to do your taxes. You will probably get audited if I tried to do so. But I'm charismatic. I'm capable of speaking, and I'm very literate. Those are my skills. That and gardening, I suppose. But I'm not good in math. Not in any way, shape, or form. If you hired me as an accountant, you'd be goddamn insane. This is the way society should work. People have skills, and there's nobody, even people who are slow adults, by the way, there's nobody that has no skills. All of them have at least one talent, and they can capitalize upon this. This is what I've told people. Your kid, for example, maybe they're slacking off in math, they're not really good in science or anything like that, and they're semi-literate. Okay, as long as they're generally passing their courses. But they're really, really good at playing the saxophone. That is a marketable skill, my friend. If they learn how to play the sexy sax, they're going to be swimming in pussy. Maybe it's a girl. Maybe she is too. That's exactly what you need to do. Like when you have a child, promulgate the skills that they have and ignore their deficiencies, generally speaking. As long as they're passing generally and learning the basic skills, like how often, for example, Do you use long division in your day-to-day life? Probably never. Well, interesting. If you're a mathematician or an accountant or something like that, you need that skill. If you're not, you probably will never actually use it. Music, same thing. I can plunk my way around a keyboard, kind of. Do I use this in my day-to-day life? No, I use it for my own amusement. Am I good at speaking? Yes, quite clearly. This is my job. This is what I do. Math, meanwhile, is basically torment. The funny part is, when I was in high school, math was my best subject, actually, for several semesters. And it was really, really funny because I'm not interested in it at all. I don't use it at all. I don't even remember most of it at all, actually. But I was really, really good in it. Science was always my best subject, though. There's a reason for that. One tall order. A fast food restaurant manned entirely by retarded shitlibs. We call it a Spurger King. King of Biltong. Sticks, you seem surprised by me having 4 kids. I have 4 kids, 10, 7, 5, 1, and have been married 11 years. Business has been running 6 years. Amplified the focus on Biltong the last 3 years. Clank. Yeah, you are definitely a success story, my man. You are the second most successful South African immigrant, actually, after Elon Musk, it appears. And definitely, if Elon Musk sells food, it'd probably be like space ice cream or something like that. So, yeah, I think I prefer the Biltong. Just saying. BW, OMG, I can't wait until Trump finally gets market back up. Hope before midterms, Doge checks or something, since reps are still playing by the rules. I roll. Yeah, it's pretty messed up, actually, when you think about it. The Republicans are doing the typical Republican thing. Does this surprise me? No, not even close. They're doing what they're paid to do, which is lose, basically. This is why I'm not a Republican. Let's get to our sponsors really quickly. Got 3 sponsors. Oh, my, just a second. My tag's just really fucked up. What the hell did I do? I'm not 100% sure what I just did. Well, we'll shout out the sponsors, at least I know that I'm live. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get Radiant Energy, Immune Renew, and Brain 2. Yes, indeed. You can get mushroom pills, not the psychedelic kind, though. These are the ones that give you energy and increased focus. In my opinion, they work. Disclaimer, I'm not a physician, so I have to be a little bit wiffly-waffly when I talk about it at all, for YouTube standards, but I do take them every single morning. Took 2 of them today. There's a reason that I seem a little bit more chipper than normal, I think. We have BiltongUSA.com. You can get all sorts of stuff. Apparently you can get Bovrite, Marmite, and Vegemite from Biltong USA. But you can also get the actual Biltong. We've got Sticks, Hex, and Hammer mugs and tumblers and shirts available as well. Use code STICKS for 10% off site-wide. By the way, if you're going to get one of these spreads, I recommend the Bovrite. The South Africans appear to have completely eclipsed the UK and Australia with regards to this. The Bovrite is definitely the best. Vegemite's fine, and there's nothing wrong with Marmite. But the Bovrite is kind of where it's at. Put it on a piece of toast, and you'll see what happens. And finally, jamandbean.com. That is Jamn bean.com. And it smells delicious. They've got coffee. They've got tea. You can get the Clanker blend, which smells so incredible. I've had several people that have messaged me with regards to the Clanker blend. And they said it was like the smoothest, most goddamn delicious coffee that they've ever had in their lives. I happen to agree with them. Not without good reason, by the way. see. Menacing Scarab. Hey, Sticks, no idea why, but Rumble hasn't let me watch any of your videos, streams excluded, for several days now. Just tells me something went wrong. Videos from other creators play fine, though. I'll have to look into that, I guess. I have noticed a substantial drop in the audience on Rumble. Used to be that I'd have like 1,000 people watching. Now it's like 200 or 300 maybe. I don't know. I don't know why this is happening, actually. Another problem, YouTube has deprived people of the availability of notifications. So it's wonderful. I'm doing just fine. Yeah. BW, are you thinking Trump might not succeed and Dems get the House and Senate back? The House is definitely up for grabs. I don't think that they reclaim the Senate. Privateer of the East, on developing skills, we are entering a revolutionary era of technology in regards to LLMs, AI, and robotics. There are a lot of niches to fill. Agreed. By the way, I have a problem. My phone appears to be somewhat fucked up. It appears to no longer be operational. I'm going to have to take that into the shop later. That's going to cost. Right at exactly the wrong moment, by the way. A fungus dungeon. The vampiric thing might not help. It actually pays to be a vampirate. I wonder if you had like a pirate vampire and you had to choose like the general skill set that they started out with, like in a Skyrim sort of game. I wonder what it would be. Stealth would probably be one of them. I suppose charisma, because vampires, they can like, you know, incant and charm people. You'd definitely go with the destruction magic. What would your general weapon be? It'd probably be light armor and, you know, small arms of some sort. A vampire probably is not generally wielding a maul or something like that. I have a feeling it'd be more of a short sword deal. Short sword in one hand and blasting fire from the other, or something along those lines. Be interesting. You could do a build like that in Skyrim. You can become a vampire, after all. But it's really not worth it when you think about it. You became immortal. But anytime the sun is out, your magic is basically bullshit. I don't know. Sigil Stone, I'm Styx Hexenhammer. I'm an unlicensed physician. Now, let me tell you about my favorite alternatives to vaccination. But first, financial advice you can take to the bank. Yeah, for some reason, Rumble appears to have abandoned me. I'm not exactly sure why. It's odd. I mean, YouTube's actually treating me generally better. Hatiana, morning Sticks. One of these days I will send you a pic of a pirate hat I made. Not the same as winning it in a fight, but still cool. Yeah, no, a subscriber just sent me this one. And I love it. There were these two cute gothy chicks in the gas station just the other day. And totally checking me out, by the way. And one of them came up and was like, oh, I love your outfit. I'm like, oh, I love yours too. She's all gothed up, she and her friend. I'm assuming they're roommates or something like that. Not gonna lie, when you get to my age, when people that are 10 years younger than you, they look like they were in their mid-20s or something, are clearly flirting, it gives you a little bit of an ego boost, just saying. Gas station gothy chicks. Yeah. F-Winter's loaded. EU says they're ready to negotiate on tariffs. Of course they are. China is also willing to negotiate. Imagine that. Donald Trump threatens to tariff the entire world, and everyone wants to negotiate all of a sudden. Sigil, the Rumble audience issue is probably due to it being lunchtime right now. Try streaming at a different time and see how it goes. And try vampirism in Elder Scrolls 3. Yeah, vampirism doesn't work for me. Neither does werewolf mode. I always go battle mage. At first, everyone starts out as a rogue. So you're focusing on archery and stealth and stuff. I learned that after you get past like the first 20-ish levels, battle mage is much more effective. Emperor Soft Turtle. Rand Paul is not usually wrong, but man, when he is, it is a critical botch. Tariffs are a tool of international diplomacy. This is President Purview. Principled mistake. He needs to stop. I agree completely. I am not a fan of tariffs. The threat of tariffs, meanwhile, is very, very helpful. What you do is you say, hey, you've been tariffing our dairy products at 230%. That's to you, Canada. No offense to any Canuck clankers. But then what happens is you say, okay, well, we're going to impose tariffs on some of your goods. And then they have to come to the negotiating table and they reduce their tariffs or eliminate them completely. I wouldn't expect that for dairy products because Canada has a fairly beefy milk industry, for example. A lot of cheese, a lot of milks, things like that. So they're not going to remove them. But if you can get it down so that U.S. markets are capable of actually operating, that would be good. Yeah. John Diamond, happy Monday, Sticks. Enjoy shekels, and may you enjoy mass plankings, matey. R. I actually have shekels over here in my pirate treasure. R, matey. Ha ha ha. I got lots of treasure. Most of it's over 100 years old. Sigil, in Morrowind, when vampire sunlight absolutely fucking kills you, there's 3 clans you can join depending on who infects you, and the mage vampires are wildly powerful. Also, most people hate you. Yeah, they removed that in Skyrim, and so people would comment on the fact that you look ill or, pale or something like that, but they removed the incredible problem with being a vampire in the earlier games where basically people would just hunt you down. I'm aware of this. Danley, I'm too poor to have staked in the stock market. Don't really care what happens. I don't give a shit. The liberals didn't give a shit until Donald Trump was elected. Oh, the stock market's falling now? It's a big problem. When it fell under Joe Biden, Wall Street ain't Main Street. Tomes Esquire. Morning. So the big, are you back with Jeremy today? Let me actually message him. I'm not sure if I'm co-hosting with him. Again, he had my back in a big way in my darkest hour. I am not going to abandon him. Under any circumstances. I'll have his back the same way he had mine. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just query him on that one. The Happy Plague Doctor, fired. So fired. I don't know that I've actually been fired by Jeremy. I believe his contract with Rumble appears to be ending. And so there's a major mix-up with regards to who's going to be co-hosting the show, what they're being paid, and so forth. But that's his own private business, so I'm not going to get further into it. As far as I'm concerned, I can continue doing the show without being paid. While it's nice to get money, I also enjoy it. He's a good dude. And so I've got his back. A nice mug. Yes, I've got Styx Hexen mugs. You can buy them, by the way. Tom, who's Jeremy? That would be Quartercast. The quartering is a good dude, and I would challenge anyone to prove otherwise. He's got the back of the people that are around him. He is intelligent. He is charismatic. He's very, very talented in general. And so I enjoy working with him. I genuinely enjoy it. I don't understand. Somebody out there like has a hard on for hating him, and I'm like, why? Why do you have a problem with Jeremy? What did he do to you? Misha, Jeremy only wants women co-hosts. No, actually, he's also taken a liking to Luke Rudkowski, actually. BW, let me leave. Love you, Sticks. I'm in a bad mood and I promised myself I would stop blackpilling on this channel. Yeah, please don't blackpill. That being said, you don't need to leave. It's perfectly fine. I like Jeremy. Zeta, pray for Sticks. He has narcolepsy. He lost his mind over a co-worker snoring. What? No. I do have insomnia, though. Didn't kick in last night, though. I'm fairly energetic at the moment. Kilowatt, I watched Jeremy since before he got into politics and was doing Magic the Gathering content. I've been clankers since 2014. Yeah, I know. You're a long-term clanker. Kate Greenham. Will you be covering any of the Canadian federal election this month? The caretaker PM is terrifying, and TDS is dominating the election cycle. I will probably weigh in on that. F. Winters Lodig. Once Trump's tariff war pans out, does Rand Paul owe an apology to Trump? I will give Rand Paul a unique hall pass. He's Rand Paul. Look at who his dad is. Look at his track record within Congress. All right, you get a pass. Massey and certain others don't necessarily get a pass, but Rand, I'll make an exception for him, yeah. Democrats refuse Barack Obama's election meddling as former president's influence within the desperate party withers. You may have noticed this, actually. Barack Obama, at one point, was basically the love child of the left. The liberals, they thought he was spectacular. They thought he was amazing. Recently, haven't you noticed that he's sort of disappeared off the face of the earth and they don't want to talk about him at all? There might be a reason for this. Here's the problem for Obama in a nutshell. And it's a very, very strange and interesting problem. Barack Obama, for all intents and purposes, is now considered right-wing by much of the Democratic Party. So they're not going to support him. Yes, the first black president, also the first gay president, or one of them, we're not entirely sure about some of the others, happens to be a right-winger by the Democratic Party's standards. Very, very strange, actually, when you think about it. It's like with Hillary, they forgot her because she lost. Then she blamed literally everyone other than herself, so that wasn't going to work. With Barack Obama, it's more like his actual ideology. I pointed this out years ago. If you looked at Trump's 2016 speeches with regards to the border, for example, I looked at the speeches. I looked at the transcripts. Then I matched them up with Obama's transcripts from his election in 2008. What did I find? 90% overlap. Well, okay, you're basically conjoined on the border. It's just that one of these individuals actually carried through, and the other one was uninterested in doing so. When I looked at military issues, Barack Obama is to the right of Donald Trump on military issues. Other than the wokeness within the military, and that's more Biden than Obama anyway, other than that, it was more, yeah, fucking kill him. It's a great idea. Let's start several wars. It will be just like George W. So Barack Obama is a fish out of water, effectively, because his ideological beliefs are now far to the right of the modern Democratic Party. You've got the neoliberals, they tolerate him, but they no longer really like him. The Union Dems, they're kind of fickle anyway, so you're never going to get their support. The leftoids, people like Bernie Sanders, AOC, and so forth, they fucking hate Obama. They don't want to talk about him. They don't want to even mention the fact that he exists. I almost feel sorry for Barack Obama. And most of you will find that obscene that I'm saying that. But I almost feel sorry for him. Because the man that built the modern Democratic Party, in its inception, has been completely abandoned by it. It's sort of like if you built a business and then the shareholders decided, hey, you're not going to lead the company anymore. Bye. And then they just kick you out the door. They have security escort you out. That's basically how Obama must feel. I gotta say, and I give him maybe a 2 out of 10 for his presidency. He was a miserable failure. You've got the energy wars, you've got Afghanistan, you've got Iraq, all sorts of problems. I actually have to feel fucking sorry for the dude. It's very strange feeling. For somebody of my age range and my particular political proclivities, it's very strange that I actually have to feel some degree of sympathy for goddamn Barack Obama. But I do. None of it came to pass. Judging by his irrelevant poll numbers, Obama's star has long faded. In a CNN poll last month, Obama received only 4% support from Democrats who were asked which leader best represents the party, lagging behind Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Kamala Harris, and Bernie Sanders. Ouch. Yeah, there's a reason for that. Again, as I explain, the Democratic Party has gone far left. They've abandoned the concept of standard neoliberalism, which is, 50-50. It's part good, it's part bad. That being said, the new leader of the party is effectively AOC. Yep. The Democrats are literally going with her. How wonderful. Yeah, no, you're not a communist party or anything like that. You're not communists. I'm gonna eat some bovite. Just give me a second here. It's delicious. It's very, very salty, and it's got a nice beefy flavor. It's like chewing on a piece of beef bouillon, if that makes sense. Let's see. Asmaria, for your sleep issues, consistent sleep schedule, cut the caffeine off 4 hours before bed, or anything that would help keep you awake. I work nights, and this helps greatly over the years. I've already done that, that's the problem. I've tried everything. I can use chamomile every second or third week, and that's basically the closest I can get to a proper sleep schedule. Sigil, Obama trained the crocodile to eat people. Now he can go fuck himself as it eats him. Obama had a trained crocodile? I don't know whether you're serious or not. I mean, I'd believe it. F. Winters Lodig. I never hated Obama like most of the other characters in the Dem Party. Yeah, I never hated him. He was just a miserable failure. That being said, he did have a couple of redeeming qualities. His biggest redeeming quality is something that nobody ever gives him credit for, because it's something that pissed off the left, by the way. Barack Obama, when the energy boom happened, when fracking began, he stood out of the way. He did absolutely nothing. The environmentalist lobby was constantly haranguing him to try to shut it down, so to speak. And he didn't. He just shrugged his shoulders, turned his back, and walked away. This was the one major policy victory of the entire Obama administration. The energy boom that you saw under Donald Trump in his first term was predicated by Barack Hussein Obama. And 99% of the population doesn't even remember that this happened. Very interesting. I gave him credit at the time. I said, most of the things you've done during your presidency, mediocre at best, usually miserable failures. But with regards to the energy boom, Barack Obama actually did a really good job by ignoring the left wing of his own party. That's why the AOCs of the world are rising up. Sigil, I'm being metaphorical. You know, you can appease the crocodile so he'll eat you last, but eat you he will. Oh, I didn't get the reference. Last Beacon, the crocodile is a metaphor for the current rabid state of the Democrat Party. I don't think crocodiles can get rabies. The Democratic Party is more like an insane honey badger or something like that. Celestial, Obama is being eaten by his own monster. Fuck him. Yes, but again, there is at least one thing that he did well. The energy boom, he wisely stood out of the way. Fish Tank edits. Any thoughts on Trump's deep Zionist Israeli sympathies? Probably the most pro-Zionist president in history. Not many thoughts. Myself, I am not in favor of either Israel or Palestine. I don't see it as my problem. I'm over here in the Americas. I have nothing to do with the Middle East. If they want to fight each other, I mean, they've been doing it for 5,000-6,000 years, so. Super Jones Bros, the dumbest people are those who still believe Fauci. If you follow the science, trademark, even when everyone else moved on, you deserve 4 more years of Biden. Oziel Esparza. Hey Sticks, creator of the comic Halcyon here. I am 40% done with Chapter 3. We'll send you a copy when it's ready. Ooh, I can't wait for that. Yeah, your comics are really, really good. I like the artwork and I like the writing. F. Winters loaded. Comparing Biden and Obama, Biden was no doubt 1,000 times worse. Yeah, I mean, it's a low threshold, but Obama was definitely more competent than Joe Biden, yeah. He even remarked on it. Don't underestimate his ability to fuck things up. Well, that's exactly what happened. How wonderful. Baxter133. Try an extra wool or heavy blanket for sleep and have a hot bath before to raise the body temperature to trick it into sleep, not a shower. Huh. That could work. Joris Wildenbeest. Alcoholics have sleep problems. I've had sleep problems since I was 5 or 6 years old. It does not require alcohol. It's just a problem. Now I want to talk about Russell Brand briefly. I have a real big problem with this, and that's due to timing. Now, I can believe that somebody who is in a position of relative wealth and fame, Russell Brand is both, would take advantage of that position. But when the charges come a few weeks after you sign an exclusivity deal with an alt-tech site, namely Rumble, where I'm currently live streaming, that seems awfully goddamn coincidental now, doesn't it? I do not believe the charges against Russell Brand. I don't believe that he needs to sexually assault anyone because I believe that he is intelligent enough, charismatic enough, and reasonably wealthy enough so that people are going to throw themselves at him. What this is people bitching about the fact that he had weird sex with them. It's the same as goddamn Marilyn Manson. I do not like many of Russell Brand's takes, but I do not believe he's a rapist. No, I don't. I believe what happened is that women got with him. He's famous and he buys him a car or some shit like that. And so they fuck him. They have an extended, a long weekend in the hotel room. And he gives them a pile of money and takes them out to a nice dinner. And then he fucks them. And then they complain about it when it didn't pan out and they didn't end up with a long-term relationship with the famous dude. That's all that's happening here. And this has happened over and goddamn over again. I thought that the Me Too era was over. When all the charges against Marilyn Manson effectively were dropped, he wrote a song about this, Red Flag, by the way, one of the greatest songs ever made. I figured, well, the Me Too era, finally, it has ended. Finally, we can stop with the witch hunting. Apparently, I was completely wrong. Now they're going for Russell Brand. And again, the coincidental timing is very, very strange. I just inked a contract with a site that doesn't censor people. Oh, shit. Now people are saying that I raped them. This was within 2 weeks. This is the same as the Eric Adams case. This was the same with Marilyn Manson. Eric Adams. He comes out against the Biden administration. 2 weeks later, his campaign manager gets raided by the FBI, and then he gets raided by the FBI. He has abandoned the Democratic Party, by the way, as a result of this. Marilyn Manson. He didn't really have much of a career. All of a sudden, though, he starts making one-off hits, cover songs. He ends up on TV. He releases a new album that was well received. All of a sudden, he's going through a career revival. That means he's got more moolah. All of a sudden, everyone thinks that he raped them. Oh, interesting. When he was kind of down in his career, nobody wanted to fuck with him. As soon as he made money, and as soon as he was getting more fame, all of a sudden, oh, he sexually assaulted me 25, 30 years ago, or something like that. Interesting timing. The same is true here. Russell Brand signs a contract, a very lucrative one, I'm sure, literally replacing our slot, with the quartering in me, which is hysterical. All of a sudden, he gets hit with Me Too charges. Ah, what a coincidence. It's totally coincidental. No, it's not. The reason that they're doing this is because they don't like Russell Brand because of his support for new tech more than anything else. Yeah, some people are talking about the fact that I nodded off on the quartering. I made an insomnia video for a reason. That had nothing to do with alcoholism. That had to do with the fact that I went 2 days without sleeping. Well, I got maybe 3 hours of sleep between the 2 days. So yes, I was nodding. It had nothing to do with drugs. Hink Hall, Sticks, check out magnesium glycinate yet? I take 2 or 3 almost every night before bed. Haven't had sleeping issues in years. Cal's is the best brand. I will have to check that out because at this point I'm desperate. I don't really like to use chems, other than caffeine, obviously. But I only use it earlier in the day. I don't use that in the evening or anything like that. It's worn off long since then. And so I should be able to sleep. Unfortunately, my body just does not like to sleep. Except at random moments, unfortunately. Last Beacon, that's why I can't stand most people. They are nothing more than vampiric leeches. Well, I'm a pirate vampire, so I'm not a leech vampire. It's all good. Cultivated Mind, thank you, Clankers, for a great year. We added a subscription service for 15% off. Cultivated-mind.com. For our dual extracted functional mushrooms, use Sticks for 10% off your one-time orders. Yeah, it's some good stuff. Ramon C. GTC, I have jalapeno and habaneros plants because of you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I've got to plant the seedlings and get the grow lamps up, actually. Thankfully, I've got a little bit of a cleaner setup this year, so I'm going to do the best that I can. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do about my phone now. Let's see. Jim Morrison, I fixated on energy policy at age 9 in 1973 when observing the fuel shortages and gas lines. I agree with your assessment of Barry's direction. Yeah, that was the one good thing that he did. That and normalization of relations with Cuba, I suppose. So I give him a 2 out of 10 for his presidency on that basis. Son of Kemet, hello from Egypt. Nice. Egypt is pretty cool. I want to see Egypt. Sigil, have you tried starting a fight club yet and blowing up credit card companies? Hollywood, a bastion of pure truth, assures me this is a viable cure to insomnia. If I ever go out, it will be with a bang. Just saying. Son of Kemet. Hi, bro. Welcome anytime. Yeah, Egyptian cooking is delicious. I've had it before, actually. There was an Egyptian restaurant. I can't remember which city it was in. Was it in Burlington? I can't recall. It was really good, yeah. Last beacon. Speaking of spicy peppers, what type of hot sauce do you like to have? I like it insanely hot. Ha 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 ha. Give me a moment. I'm going to take a quick break to go piss, and then I'm going to show you some hot sauces. I think that you'll be amazed. Be right back. All right, everyone. You want to feel some heat? We've got plenty of that. I'll show that off in a second. Oh, I think that one's leaking. Whoops. Oh, there's no cap on it, actually. Haha, whoops. First, the Midgard sauce from Skinwalker, or Stealthwalker, Realm Walker. My apologies. This is actually a clanker that makes the sauce in his own home. This is roughly a medium heat. The Niflheim sauce is a green sauce, and that's more mild. And it's perfect for burgers and shit like that. But the Midgard, it's got sort of a vinegary flavor more than anything else. The Niflheim is more of a tomatoey flavor, I suppose. And then there are hotter sauces too. So I love that. You are like Bigfoot, a little out of focus. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, for some reason my camera has been auto-focusing during live streams. King of Biltong, try our Biltong. Almost 50% protein, packed with B12, creatine, iron, zinc, and much more. A perfect snack addition to your weekly meal prep. Highly recommended, by the way. BiltongUSA.com, code STICKS for 10% off. Copium Poppy says poop. Very intelligent comment. Yeah, we're going to look at some hot sauces here. There are, I think, 50 of them out there, some of which were sent by subscribers. Of course, you have to have some Melinda's. That's just the habanero sauce. This one is pretty spicy. I got this in New Orleans. Slap your mama! That's what I'm talking about. And it's basically a rub. You can put this on anything. It's mostly chili peppers, so this is mild-ish, but it still packs enough heat that it's still good. Keep in mind, I'm only showing you a very small sampling of the hot sauces that we have. I love this one. Look how fancy that fucker is. Oh, if I can keep it open. This is hot salt. It's Himalayan salt, impregnated with, I believe, Reaper peppers. It is extremely spicy. Yeah, it looks like a syringe for a reason, I suppose. Yeah, you'll only need maybe 2 twists of this for an entire pot of chili. So, you know, it's gonna last for a while. Firecracker Farm, another clanker. And I thank you very much for that, by the way. And then this was sent, actually, by another clanker. Oh, and trust me, this is exceptionally spicy. It comes in a hand grenade-shaped bottle for a reason. This is not just marketing. 86% peppers, veteran-owned, American-grown. The General's Hot Sauce. Probably the spiciest one that I've tried. It's incredible, actually. And it tastes really great. F. Winters Loaded. I think Obama did some good things on drug war and racial and gay rights social issues, minus affirmative action. This was, of course, before his party and DEI spun totally out of control. Yeah, that was the thing. We've got to understand the context of the period in which Obama was president. There were civil rights violations happening. After Obama leaves, all of a sudden, hey, no, civil rights is basically a dude in a skirt without underwear being able to read pornography to children. They are not fundamentally the same. Last beacon, I say this because I traditionally put hot sauce, like really, really hot sauce, on my tuna noodle casserole. Get some of the Generals if you want something exceptionally hot. Or get some of the hot salt from Firecracker Farms. The others are more mild, like the Midgard sauce. I find this, by Realm Walker, I find this to be exceptionally tasty. It's like a 3 out of 10 on the heat scale, and the Niflheim's more like a 2 out of 10. They have a habanero sauce, I believe, that's more like a 6 out of 10. But, God, try this shit. Yeah. Veteran owned. Not without good reason. Like, I was in the military. I had to eat military food. You best believe I was using Tabasco sauce every day. Celestial. Yo, those are Final Fantasy VII themed hot sauces. Yeah, there's gonna be at least 50 bottles of hot sauce in the kitchen. Some of which aren't even opened because there's so much of it. I always appreciate getting them, though, from subscribers. If you happen to make hot sauce or something like that, I would gladly accept a bottle. Like with the Realm Walker, he does a really good job. I especially like the Niflheim sauce, though. That's the more mild one. And that's because that's perfect for, like, you can put that in a burger, you can dip your fries in it and something like that. And it's not overpowering. Sometimes I want something that's exceptionally spicy. Sometimes I want something that's a little bit less spicy. I just want to add a little bit of kick to it. Jim Morrison, fellow insomniac, best sleep I ever got was pounding granite rocks with 12-pound sledges all day at 12,000 foot elevation, physical exhaustion. That's typically what I have to do. Copium Poppies. The best hot sauces are El Yucateco, Black Label. I do like that one. For Mexican food, and Red Devil or Crystal for basically everything else except Asian food. Those aren't necessarily the hottest, but taste great. I'm basic bitch when it comes to necessary additives. I like Tabasco sauce. I know it's basically a love-hate relationship for people. They either love Tabasco sauce, I happen to, or they really, really hate it. I got the craving for that after getting one of the little bottles that they included in military rations, actually, during the MRE period there. And yeah, it was delicious. They had this one seasoning, very mildly spicy, but mostly aromatic, that they really, really need to bring back to MREs, by the way. That was absolutely superb. It had crushed chili, red pepper, rosemary, thyme, I think, and a few other herbs and spices, and it was delicious. Yeah, El Yucateca is definitely good. My favorite is still, I think, Realm Walker, the Niflheim sauce. It's more on the mild end, but it does the job. Let's see if my phone will actually work. It appears to be on. I can feel it vibrating. It's just the screen doesn't appear to work. Yeah, it's fucked. Guess we're going to the computer repair shop later. Wonder. Remoncy GTC. Have you tried Valentina? It's so good. Oh, I've never heard of it. I would say Tabasco sauce, ultimately for like the mainstream sauces, is probably my favorite. But my overall favorite that I've ever had is still the Niflheim by Realm Walker. And I really like the General's hot sauce, but the thing is, this is not really a sauce. It's really more of an additive. One drop in an entire batch of chili is all you're going to need. That'll raise it to a 5 out of 10 on the spicy scale. Try adding 3 or 4 drops and see how your asshole feels the next day. Slap Ya Mama is good, but that's more of a rub. That's not a sauce, of course. And, you know, then you go from there. I do like the habanero sauce from Habanero Honey Mustard by Melinda's. It's delicious, actually. It's just fairly spicy. Last beacon. Speaking of phones, Samsung is now considering working on a quad folding phone. Interesting. Ah, green Tabasco, says Raider. Yes, a fellow man of taste. I have a bottle of that, actually, right up in the kitchen. Tabasco makes scorpion sauce? According to Voodoo Viking, they do. I was not aware of this. Sigil, for your next phone, get a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold. The thing is fucking invincible and has 2 screens in case one breaks. Huh. I'll just get this one repaired. It cost a little bit too much for me to give it up. Also, it's hooked to all of my accounts, which means that I really need to get it repaired in short order. Copium Poppies, the black label specifically for El Yucateco, is the best. It has an awesome smoky flavor. The other varieties don't. Oh, that sounds good, actually. Mr. Buster Pants, see, the whole problem is it appears that the screen is no longer working. It did get damaged, and unfortunately no longer appears to work at all. I mean, the phone may or may not even be on at the moment. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Well. I wonder what the hottest hot sauce in the world is. I remember there was that Da Bomb sauce, and they had the third one that they made. It was it was an additive. It wasn't really a sauce, but it was insane. And then there's Blair's. That was really hot. And they have a little skull on the bottle for a reason. You can get all sorts of hot sauces down in Louisiana, by the way. I'm going to get a couple of those and ship them back. I mean, you can get just absolute capsaicin if you want to. You can get it crystallized. And that's going to be the hottest thing that you can possibly imbibe. But there's no flavor to it. And so I prefer sauces that are more on the medium end, generally, because then, you know, there's actually, you can taste something other than fucking hot sauce. Mad Dog 357, I've heard of that one. Dave's Insanity, I've heard of that one. Copium, try smashing against a hard surface. That may fix it. You know, I'm almost thinking that that would work. I think that I'll just take it to the computer repair shop, though. Sigil, bad news, but screens tend to be unrepairable. And if it's a newer phone model, the screen is likely paired to the motherboard and is so expensive to replace that it's cheaper to get a new phone. See, there's a problem with that. Because the phone, at least the card in the phone, is paired to many of my accounts. Gail Mibson actually has a good idea for, yeah, that's a good idea. Make a spicy bovrite. That could work. Yeah, so I'm going to have no choice but to absorb that cost. The phone is on. I can feel it vibrating. The problem is that the screen, if unrepairable, that would be a problem. I guess I'll have to have the card taken out and put in a new phone or something like that. I mean, I can't give up my phone number. There's no way that I'd be able to get into my accounts and shit. Clem, it's not brightness settings. The screen simply won't turn on at all. There's no way to get to the brightness settings. It's impossible. Yeah, it's fucked. I'll see if I can have it repaired. Hold power button down for 10 to 15 seconds. Okay. Yeah, I believe chronologic paperclip factory reset. What happens if the screen is still not working? Then I cannot access my phone at all. Yeah, I'm just gonna have them pull the card out of it and get a different phone. I only use it for backup anyway. DK Liberty, Sticks getting tech support from chat is the best thing I've seen all morning. Yeah, I'm just gonna drown myself and die, you know? I'm just joking. No, I don't touch that stuff. Dad uses it sometimes. Even he only needs a couple of drops of that, and he's a hellfire mode when it comes to that sort of thing. He eats like habaneros just out of the jar. Jalapeno doesn't even touch him. He uses, what's that one sauce? The Texas Pete sauce, I think it is. Yeah, I'm going to have him clone my phone. This is going to be expensive and discomforting. Zeta, who has the best po' boy in New Orleans? I don't know. I know that the best restaurant I've been down there is definitely Ralph's on the Park, though. Sigil, if the screen is paired to the board, you'll have to just get a new phone because that's what repair service will do anyway. You can transfer the data yourself. And last weekend, I would love it if they could actually make a folding gaming phone, they being Samsung. I would rather they just make a screen that won't crack if you accidentally drop it on a soft surface. That would be nice. I mean, it is on. It's vibrating, so the phone isn't dead. It's just that the screen isn't working. That's going to cost me. Alright, anyway, I'm going to go offline now. I am not sure whether Ralph is having me on at 2 p.m. I'm not 100% sure. I have messaged him. I'll get back to all of you if indeed that's going to be the case. Then I'll have to go to the computer repair shop, I suppose, or if I'm not going live with him, I might do it fairly soon. Because that's going to be a bit of a problem now, isn't it? You can't access any of your accounts. That's where 100% of your income comes from. Yeah, that's great. Absolutely. Robinhood. Ralph? Ralph's on the Park in New Orleans, in Louisiana. It is an incredible restaurant. They have turtle soup there. I think it's the last place in New Orleans you can actually get it. But if you can get the crayfish bisque, I suggest that instead. It is the best soup, and in fact one of the best foods that I've ever had in my life. In fact, it might be literally the #1 food that I've ever eaten. It was absolutely incredible. Creamy, delicious, just the right amount of chilliness, like, sauciness. It was amazing. Go to Ralph's on the Park and tell him Styx sent you. And we'll build up our piratical reputation in that particular city. I'll be there in a few weeks. Any clankers want to hang out? Yeah, we can probably go to a restaurant or something like that. It would probably be Ralph's. Although I want to go to the aquarium and pet the stingrays and interrogate them to see if they have any information about the death of Steve Irwin. That's about all. Peace out.